Hey guys, what's up? Man, what a day today. Um, I did some shopping, came back to my car, and right now I'm saddled with the situation. My car is not starting, it's not turning over, and it just seems like, man, it seems like I'm gonna have to get a tow on this car. So basically, what happened is, I went to the mall, did a little bit of shopping, came back. Got back in my car, tried to start up. It didn't do anything. I mean, all the lights came on the dash. Everything worked the way it normally would work, except I wasn't getting any AC, but the fan was blowing. The radio works. I was able to get everything working. I mean, it works when you turn a key like normally. It makes a click, and then it doesn't turn over. I can't get the motor to run, start up. So I thought maybe this is like one of the situations I had. I had this same situation a couple of times during the last couple of months where I get out in the morning, I get into my car, try to turn on, and I get nothing except for the lights on the dash. Everything works. It turns on like it normally does, but when it gets to the point where the motor starts, it doesn't crank. It doesn't do anything. No cranking, no nothing. So normally in those situations, it happened like about 3 times in the last 4 months. I would try to start up a couple of times, and it would eventually start up, and then it would start up normally. For the majority of the time, I've had no issues with it, but this time around, I think I maxed out on my luck as far as this is concerned. So I must have cranked the key. I must have cranked it like 15 times or whatever. Try to crank it up. I would try to crank it up 15 times. Try to start up 15 times, but 15 to 20 times at this point. Last a couple of minutes I just tried starting it up. Nothing happens, except everything else works, but nothing happens. Kind of sucks that way, but so basically I thought maybe it could be okay. So at this point I'm trying to rule out certain things that might be causing this situation. All right, because I've had this situation before. I mean, it's not a new situation. So my first thought is okay, let's rule a couple of things out. Let's rule the alternator out. Okay, alternator, as far as this is concerned, the alternator normally gives out on you when you're driving or when the engine is on. When the engine is on, the motor is on, you try to crank it. When the motor is on, running or whatever, at any point the motor is running and it dies out on you, then you could say it could be the alternator. It's probably the alternator. It could be the alternator. It could be a couple other things, but it could be the alternator. But once you jump start it, the car should turn on. And then once you take the cables off, the car will die off because the alternator is not charging the car, which is, the test, which is how people normally test for alternator issues. Okay, so fortunately, it doesn't matter. That's not the issue, because I did have somebody try to put cables on it, and nothing happened. The same thing happened, and the guy left. We left the cable on the car for about a minute just to make sure it was charging up and stuff like that, like gotten up of a charge. But normally, if it's a really low charge and it's the battery or the alternator, you would have like a slow crank. For the most part, you have a slow crank. Okay, alternator is left out, so battery could be eliminated too, because there's no issues with anything. The lights, nothing. I turned on the headlights just to make sure the battery was good. It's daylight out. I didn't leave the lights on. I'm 100% sure I didn't leave the lights on. I wasn't even gone for maybe like an hour, so that's not the cause of it. And besides, I changed the alternator. Well, you know what? I don't think I've changed the alternator on this car, but I've changed the battery maybe like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. That battery should last like 4 years or 5 years. I never thought it was the battery to begin with. So it's not the alternator, it's not the battery. The only other thing I can think of is maybe like a fuse or a relay. Now, I've had these situations before where the fuse blew, the starter fuse blew, and I don't know if it was a starter fuse, but I've had a situation where my car had trouble starting, turning over, did all the tests, and you know, did all, you know, tested all the fuses, and it was a fuse that was a problem, but the car did turn over. Normally in situations where a fuse is the culprit for the car not starting, normally you either have like no power at all, like if the cables was off the battery, you have no power at all, and nothing happens when you turn it, like no power, like no lights on the dash, no radio, nothing. All right, it's not the situation here. Or it cranks over. No, or it cranks, but it doesn't crank over. It cranks, but it doesn't crank over. That's not the situation here. It doesn't crank at all, and all the lights all work and everything. All the lights work and everything works. So that's not the situation at all. As far as the relay is concerned, I don't think it's the relay. Okay, I don't think it's the relay because this car actually makes a click when I try to turn it on. It actually makes a click. It clicks. It clicks. So, I mean, if it clicks, it means that the solenoid is actually firing off. You know, it means the solenoid is a click. It means that the solenoid is actually firing off. It means that there's electricity going through the fuses, there's electricity going through the relay, there's electricity going to the motor, going to the solenoid. Unfortunately, the motor won't kick over. The motor won't kick over. All right, and this is the problem at this point, that I think it is the starter that's causing it not to click over. All right, it's, you know, here's the thing about the starter in this car. I changed the starter like about a year ago, and I pretty much had the same situation about a year ago. So I'm like, you know, it's not like a new situation to me as far as starter issues concerned, but I still had to go through, you know, trying to figure out, eliminate all the stuff, because these starters are supposed to last like 150,000 miles. It's supposed to last like a really long time. All right, I didn't anticipate the starter not, you know, going out on me like a year after I installed it. Now, given that this is a rebuilt starter, on this car. Like, I got the starter from Advanced Auto. It's a rebuilt starter. It's not a brand new starter. So I'm thinking, if you guys know anything about what they do with rebuilt starters, they actually take the part that's broken out, they put a new part in, but the whole entire starter, they clean it up, put it through chemicals or whatever to clean it up. But most of the starter, except for that single part, has the same mileage that the car came out of. So if that starter had like that car had like 150,000 miles on it, and they pulled that starter out that wasn't working, all they did was take out the part that they see that's not working, pop the new part in, clean it up. The rest of the starter has 150,000 miles on it. The new part has, like, you know, 0 mileage, or whatever the mileage that you put in it after you changed out. You know, after they, you know, how many miles that you've driven after you've installed the rebuilt starter. But I will say that a rebuilt starter is a lot cheaper than a brand new starter, so that's why I opted for the rebuilt starter versus the brand new. But that's the situation you're getting with rebuilt starters. So my other option is to bump the starter, see if it gets another kick out of it, so I could drive home and get this settled. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that because I don't have anything long enough to actually, you know, bump it. So I don't have anything to bump it. I'm not going to be able to do that, but I'm pretty sure at this point, after ruling everything out, that it is the starter that's causing the issue. All right, guys. So now I'm going to have to get AAA to tow this car. I've already spent like close to an hour on this issue. It's hot out, and I'm going to have to get AAA to come an hour from now, hour and a half, to tow my car back so that I could change out the starter. I don't even know if that starter is warranted. I think it's warranted for a year. I don't know if it's going to be warranted up to this point. Probably over a year, but I'll keep you guys updated. Hey guys, what's up? So this is the next day. I did get my car towed after waiting an hour and a half for AAA to come and tow my car. I wasted like 2-3 hours on it at this point. I did get it fixed. You know, once I got back home, I actually did find like a long crowbar to bump the starter to see, to make sure that was it. It did not start up. Changed the starter, went to advanced auto, got it replaced, and I put it in, and the starter now, you know, it turns over every single time. But I'm hoping that I don't have the situation again in a year, because it's a rebuilt starter. It kind of sucks that way. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna probably trust an OEM starter from you know, eBay or whatever more than I will a rebuilt starter, because I have my alternator actually did the same thing as far as just going out on me, and it really sucks that way, because you know, it looks like it's brand new alternator. You put it in, you buy it AutoZone, Advanced Auto, whatever, you pop it in, and then 6 months later it goes out on you because another part breaks down. That sucks. But that's my video. Had an interesting adventure. If you guys have any comments about this video, please leave your comments. Please subscribe, and please give me a thumbs up. All right, guys, take care.